Hello, creatives community and kind folks. We are going to take a look at the Dread Thingonomicon, a big, hefty tome of nothing but random tables from Ragin Swan Press. This particular book is system neutral. Doesn't really matter whether it's system neutral or not, but if you are a person who loves the OSR, classic dungeon delving, and all that, and you need a creative spark and all of that, um, from wilderness travel to urban locations to dungeons and whatnot, you will not be disappointed with Raging Swan Press materials. But first, let's get the intro out of the way and get into this book very quickly. You will not be disappointed. Yes, the Dread Thingonomicon. We are going to primarily focus on this book. There is another iteration of this. Sorry about my ring light here. Raging Swan Press's GM's Miscellany Dungeon Dressing. This one, it does claim to be 5th edition compatible, only because of some of the statistics in it, or things such as traps and DCs and whatnot. Uh, if you're an OSR fan, it doesn't matter. You can use these for classic fantasy of all types. This one is called Miscellany. The other one, of course, is the Dread Thingonomicon. From what I gather, these were put together over years and years of hundreds, maybe thousands of blog posts, and organized together. And it's crazy the amount of mind fuel that I like to call mind fuel in these books, especially when needed on the fly. Now, of course, when one of the myths about random tables is that you have to accept what's on there. Hey, good morning there. Hello, on your side of the world. That you must roll in the tables, you can't change them, you're only using them on the fly, it has to fit into your setting no matter what it says, and that's complete BS. The random tables are bullet points, they're lists, they are things to jumpstart the brain. Even if you read something and you never use it, if it gave you a creative spark, that's exactly what its purpose is there for. Again, the Dread Thingonomicon is a compilation of tons and tons of tables. This particular tome that I'm holding numbers more than 475 pages. So this is almost a 500 page book. I have some marked off. I'm going to show you the table of contents. Hopefully this will give us a great image of the table of contents, and but I have some marked off for some very common situations that us game masters and dungeon masters find ourselves in when it comes to fantasy gaming. So here we have, I don't have a digital version of this book. I like my dead trees, dead tree books. I might have to increase the brightness here just a bit. All right, so we have our forward, our intro, talks about the system neutrality of it. 99% of the books, even with statistics in it, it's basically system neutral. It's very easy to hack. It's not even really hack. So inside for the table of contents, there is, of course, it is organized in many ways. Things like an alchemist laboratory, ancient necropolis, archives and libraries, bandits and brigands, and it goes through. But as well as being organized this way, because some categories are next to other categories that you may think don't fit together. For example, we have a goblin lair, a haunted house, henchmen and hirelings, hill giant steading, and you go, well, that's not really what I'm looking for. So it also goes, it's also organized after the table of contents into categories. So for example, if you just wanted to find the tables that most apply to, say, mountains, and in your fantasy, you're like, look, I want all the tables that deal with mountains, and I want to use that for my prep, you can go over here to mountains, and it will give you Hill Giant Steading, look for the Fort on the Borderlands, Fallen Dwarven Hold, an Orc Village, White Dragon's Lair, Red Dragon's Lair, and then you can use those particular tables and use those as your prompts or your prep and write things down. So I decided to find a couple of these, and just to let you know, for example, if we just go to, say, Hill Giant Steading, it's not just one table. It is a number of these tables, so I thought we would very quickly go into something that happens very often. Players may come into a location, an urban setting or what have you, and they want to go to a bustling marketplace. And immediately we're thinking in our heads, oh no, I don't have any details. That's why I'm doing this series for this week. I don't have any details at all. What's in the bustling marketplace? So we turn our page here, and the title of the page is Different Places for a Market, and it gives you a number of random locations for a market, just to make it a little bit different, such as like on the docks or on a bridge, maybe in a church or in a ruin. It could be underground, or it could be combined together. Now, of course, with this shorter random list, it's not giving you your common places, it's giving you uncommon places, like on a bridge or underground or something of that nature. And then we don't just stop there. We have interesting stalls, a D20 list. We have types of market stalls, what's for sale, stall characteristics, things to see in a market. And each of these that I'm reading out has a random list attached to it. We also have merchants with personality. So we have some NPCs added in here, deals too good to be true, and it ends with market whispers and rumors. So when I say this book is chock full of spicy creative prompts, which we are definitely going to have ourselves some dice and definitely going to roll on these tables. For example, let's start this off. We have we need a D6. So again, we start this chapter off with bustling marketplace, and we have a location on a bridge. Bridges are excellent spots for small markets. Travelers must pass every stall, making it easy for the traders to hawk their wares. Many medieval bridges had buildings on them, built out over the water. Traders with stalls on bridges could even trade with vessels passing under the bridge, perhaps using baskets on ropes to lower goods to their customers. And just the visuals of that is very interesting. Maybe there are acrobatic or small children or something like that, or even small pets like lizards or monkeys or something, running up and down the ropes that go down to passing boats and ships that are going underneath the bridge. Maybe there are barefoot acrobats that are literally scrambling up and down the ropes very quickly, handing things and money and goods back and forth and whatnot. That sounds kind of fun. We're going to add some more to this. Let's roll interesting stalls. Let's get 3 different stalls. I rolled an 11. A fast-talking human has attracted a crowd by extolling the medicinal virtues of various charms worn from tribes in the undiscovered wilds. Despite the slick look of the merchant, the goods appear to be genuine, at least alien to those produced by local artisans. So already many of these prompts have a story element to it. So apparently there are things from a distant land, and where did they come from? And if this person is genuine, even though this person may be lying about their medicinal values, apparently there is a place far away. Let's get 2 more stalls in here. A 6. A sickly half-orc repeatedly sneezes over his merchandise. Meat pies and sandwiches. He makes no effort to clean up the mucus, instead sipping a spicy-smelling tea and wiping his bleary eyes. Despite everything, the meat pie's smell of pepper, salt, and garlic and the heavy aroma is delicious. A few faithful customers purchase a snack, brush off the phlegm, and eat the meals wholeheartedly. Quite hilarious. And it is the phlegm adding a little bit of like a seasoning to it or something? Is this a sickly half orc? Like, is this a normal thing for this person? Maybe it's the spices making their nose run or whatnot. It's pretty hilarious, and of course, would there be any game mechanics to this? Hell no. But it would be pretty funny for, like, do the players go up and buy one and decide to, like, taste of the Flemish mucus covering it? Pretty hilarious. Let's go to a third stall here. 7. A handsome half-elf merchant flirts with a well-dressed noblewoman. She pockets some of the merchant's jewelry when he is distracted, kisses the half-elf on the cheek, then turns to leave. The blushing vendor doesn't notice a thing. And of course, there's a little bit of a story arc, like noble pickpocket, or maybe this handsome half-elf merchant knows that she's taking the stuff. Who is this noble woman that finds this person attractive, or is she just like, hey, kissy kiss, I'm out because I like what I had. I'm not paying for shit. And then of course there's types of market stalls. There's a few notes about markets and their intricacies. Let's roll a d20. Let's find some things that are for sale. Categories of sale: jewelry. Let's see, cheap, copper, silver, etc. Expensive would be gold and platinum, both types including ornamental or semi-precious gemstones. So that's jewelry. Let's roll another thing for sale. Maybe instruments such as harps, lutes, violins, pipes, etc. And let's go to a third one. Number 7, cosmetics such as soap, perfume. Yep, soap, perfume, cosmetics, and so on. There's stall characteristics. Let's get some stall characteristics. I need a D10 here. Number 2, the stall is nothing but a thick blanket laid on the floor upon which the merchant's goods are displayed. I think many of us have seen that before. Basically a tarp or a blanket, tapestry laid down, and everyone has their things laid out, and maybe the person's sitting cross-legged, could be floating in the air if you want to, or on a chair or something. Number 8, the owner of this stall is sycophantic in the extreme and calls out to anyone passing by who looks like they might have money to spend. Okay, all right, no big deal. Things to see in a market. There's a D20 list. Number 5, a bard employed by a nearby smallholder who has recently taken delivery of a consignment of rare spices, strolls through the throng loudly singing the praises of Master Armand and his amazing spices. If stopped, or if the characters show any interest in his song, he eagerly directs them to Master Armand's stall. Right? Yeah, a little bard singing about spices. We also have a peddler selling vegetables from a handcart, trundles by the party calling out his prices. He stumbles and falls, tipping over his cart. Almost instantly, beggars and urchins appear and start grabbing up his produce as he desperately tries to both shovel it back into his cart and fight off the swarm of scavengers. And then, what are some other things to see? 15. 2 traders argue and look like they may come to blows. It seems both paid for the same pitch, and neither is inclined to give up his claim. Right? Really interesting stuff. I mean, and it goes on and on. Merchants with personality. Let's pick one random merchant. I rolled an 8. Evan Tyvel, exotic animal merchant. This kind-faced man personally trains and works with each animal he sells, and has been known to refuse sales to buyers he thinks can't provide a good home for the animal. If an animal takes a particular liking to a prospective buyer, and Evron sometimes offers a substantial discount, especially for less popular animals. What a cool way to get a familiar to a group, or hand over a gift a familiar to a player that normally wouldn't have it. like the martial fighter types that wouldn't come with that character type, but it could be like kind of like a gift or a reward, whatnot. Deals too good to be true. Let's see, 14. It's not too hard to find a mage offering spellcasting services for 75% of the normal rate. Unfortunately, she's still learning her trade, and there's a 25% chance of a magical mishap instead of the spell's intended effect. That's pretty funny. What's another deal too good to be true? There's a reason this powerful magic item is so cheap. The magic affecting it is temporary and will only last a few hours. That's funny, especially if the PC puts it in their backpack and they have to travel long before they get to use it. Lastly, market whispers and rumors. Let's just roll for one of them. Number 8. Normally, the market is a relatively clean place. The local lord mandates merchants remove their own rubbish. However, more and more people are reporting encounters with large and aggressive rats scavenging among the stalls. It's putting off some visitors. That's a very classic, low level, first level, giant rat, extermination squad for low level characters. And mind you, me blabbing on and on talking about this is only the bustling marketplace, and this book is chock full of these things. Like, I got to the end of this and it's like the creepy graveyard. We can go on to the curio shop, and sorry, this is marked off as curio shop and pawnbrokers. Damn it, my hand affected the thing. What's another one I picked? Farming village. That's very common, right? Player characters. Come on. There we go. There's a farming village, and all the details you can see here that it's marked off with a ton of pages here. Goblin lair. That's very common in fantasy gaming. And a merchant caravan, meeting them along the road. On the road, sights and sounds and some kind of encounters. Orc village, I have marked off. Traveler's Inn, and urban chase. You know what? Let's go to the end. Let's go here to the urban chase and what this involves. So, along with the urban chase, we have like the alleyway chase, daytime events, nighttime events. We have ourselves obstacles, rooftop chase, daytime events and nighttime events and obstacles, as well as a sewer chase with events and obstacles, a street chase with daytime and nighttime events and obstacles, minor urban events we move on to, using the minor urban events table, what happens, suitable hooks, and it actually gives with the random number chart, it actually has an event, and then it gives the number of that event that you can slide into this. Anyway, it makes sense. There's minor event hooks. I'm not describing it very well. There's also minor urban events, new notable shops, fire breaks out, maybe a major burglary happens, and there's details about that. We have a wondrous sale, local rare, a local fair or festival, public executions, a brutal murder, brigands and bandits, illness strikes, and so on. Odd weather events and visiting merchants, urban landmarks. And we move on to urban landmarks, such as major urban landmarks. And they are numbered here in the campaign. And there's how many of these? 12 of these? Yeah. Really cool. Really, really fun stuff here in this book, in this series. You will not be disappointed. For example, you know what? Let's urbanize this. Let's do this. Urban chases. We have a D20, so we're going to roll for that. That's a 5. Come on. What is it about my... Come on. Come on. Yeah, classic rat slaying adventure. Bart would be proud. Yeah, that's. I wish there was. I wish there was more attention given to low level uh, adventure types, because statistically there's more low and mid level adventuring than anything. I'm surprised more people haven't put more attention to it. Yeah, a gnome and a halfling break into your inn room and steal your stuff, and you have to hunt them down. Yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. All right, so let's see here. Alleyway chase. Let's see, roll a 4, an obstacle for both parties. Then we go to the obstacle table. There's a D8. And all these, mind you, some of these are just, you're going to need all your classic dice for this. You're going to need all of them. Number 1. Ooh. Alleyways are narrow, dark, and full of leavings of life. A whore and her client appear oblivious to the oncoming runners. They make no attempt to get out of the way, and the client reacts angrily if disturbed. Ooh. I read that verbatim. What other obstacle is there? Let's roll D8. Oh, I rolled an 8. The noise of the chase provokes angry shouts from many of the buildings facing into the alley. Consequently, it is easy to keep track of the pursued individual. Okay. All right. So if like there's a chase and there's a bunch of people screaming down from above, like, shut up. And the players are like, did they go left or right? Well, you can listen to the people yelling. Of course they went left because that's where everyone's yelling. Daytime events, nighttime events. There's a rooftop chase. Let's see. Daytime event for rooftop. Number 6, angry shouting from folk in the building below follows the characters across the rooftops. Probably because they can hear your feet. Nighttime event. Rooftop chase. An assassin is using the roof to stealthily approach their target. The assassins want no witnesses and thus attacks the character. And then we have obstacles. Let's see, does it bleed over? Nope. Number 2. The gap between buildings is wider than normal, and the character must leap to cross it. If they fail, they could fall to the street below. That's very common. That's a real classic one, right? We've got sewer chases, street chase, daytime. A drunk mercenary tries to trip the character, hoping the watch might reward him. Nighttime event for a street chase. Number 5, a weary, mud-splattered traveler leading a tired horse walks up the street searching for an inn for the night. And some obstacles for a street chase. A solemn funeral march or the like proceeds up the street. The mourners do not take kindly to distractions or disturbances and lash at the character. Heck, you could even have some fun with it, like disturbing the funeral rites brings forth the undead. Let's see, opportunities and complications. All right, let's see what kind of those. To the left of this elf or half elf here. A high-ranking member of the Watch seeks out the characters and offers them positions in the organization. That's kind of cool. What's another opportunity and complication? The chase resulted in significant property damage, and the characters are pursued to settle the bill. That's pretty funny. Using minor urban events. There's a table over here, a D12 table, and if you roll on the D12 table, roll the 1, Tavern Brawl, then it has suitable hooks, number 4, 5, 6, and 8. And then if you go to the hooks, let's go to number 4. The event happens to the characters, or they stumble into the middle of it. For example, they could get caught up in a tavern brawl. Alternatively, it could happen at or one of their beloved venues. For example, a fire could damage or destroy their favorite tavern, while one of the preferred shops could be burgled. It's kind of cool. So these are like hooks, like the players are in the city and you need to hook them into an event. And there's a bunch of these events, like fire breaks out, public execution, illness, a brutal murder, so on and so forth. For example, let's go to fire breaks out. Look at the fire, it's pretty cool. And mind you, these are all numbered, so you could actually roll these randomly, or just like bullet points. Like I was saying, random tables are bullet points. You can just read through them and go, I never had a a fire break out in one of my cities. Maybe I'll do that and have that in the background. I rolled a number 2. Moderate fire. One building suffers moderate damage. 1d6 people are injured. How many people are injured? 4. And 1d3 people are killed. Let's see. 2 people are killed. There's a major burglary. There's a notable shop. Let's go to a public execution. Number 5. Let's see. A local criminal or criminals is to be publicly executed as a warning to others. The execution takes place in the town square and is seen by many as a day of free entertainment. Vendors pushing hand carts sell food, drink, and souvenirs to a large crowd of spectators. The person being killed is executed is Lempo Arpia, guilty of banditry and theft. Lempo is to suffer on the breaking wheel. Ooh. Look at all these people. Guilty of theft and murder, to be hanged by the neck. Guilty of trafficking with dark powers, to be burnt to death. See, next one is to be boiled alive in tar, to be boiled alive in oil. Something notable happens during the execution. For example, the criminal escapes, the execution fails somehow, the condemned is spared at the last minute, and so on. Reroll this result. Wow. Brigands and bandits. Illness strikes. Let's see what illness strikes. Let's see. Number 6. Plague. Plague strikes the town. Panic ensues. Let's see. Dirty water, food poisoning, sick visitors, undiagnosed lycanthropy. That's really cool. Urban landmarks. Urban landmarks. Let's roll. Is it a D6? D12. I like this image too. Difficult to see this. There's a black obelisk with some runic, glyphic. Come on, camera. And it's floating in the middle of the town. But let's roll a D12. Number 6, the lightless burrow. A super dense ridge of granite cuts the town near in two. Instead of quarrying or removing the granite, the town's founders burrowed through it, creating a tunnel for swift passage from one side of town to the other. The tunnel is wide enough for pedestrian traffic, but carts and other conveyances are barred from entering. The watch control both ends of the tunnel. That's weird. When the dwarven miners cut the tunnel, the work intersected a network of deeper tunnels. The dwarves hid access to the deeper caverns and passageways behind cunningly wrought secret doors. Sometimes at night, lone travelers go missing in the lightless burrow. Natural fissures in the rock enable airflow from above. When the conditions are right, a powerful breeze flows through the tunnel. Different, but okay. All right. And hell, if you didn't like it, you could also alter it. What, this image, I wonder if this image is in here. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay. The Ebon Shard. This eldritch shard of black rock hovers above a plinth of smooth black stone. Softly glowing arcane symbols decorate the floating lozenge-shaped stone. The shard is roughly 30 feet long. It predates the surrounding settlement. And then there's some details, such as a detect magic or similar spell reveals the shard and plinth radiate powerful alteration magic. While the stone's runes are arcane sigils, scholars who have researched them declared them to be essentially gibberish as they are arranged in no known pattern. I'm sure that's a lie. They just don't know. Locals report that the ground around the shard sometimes gently shakes. One night a year, the townsfolk gather to stand vigil over the stone. They set small bonfires around the shard, ringing it with fire and flame, and burn effigies of various devils and demons. A carnival atmosphere ensues. The locals sing, pray, and dance. Some engage in libidinous acts in the soft shadows cast by the bonfires. That's kind of cool. Right, and again, you have an image, you have a book that lets you know about it. This is the Dread Thingonomicon. If you have any interest in in anything fantastical, and you are, or your players, again, we talk about this a lot on the channel, they make a left turn and you're just like, oh no, I don't know what they're going to do. You can literally just flip this book open and on the fly find something like let's Feign of Evil. What the hell is a feign? I'm sure it's a place that has been like corrupted or something. So we got a feign of evil. Maybe you describe the place that's been cursed. You know, there's an accursed crypt or something nearby, and you're like, and the PCs are like, I'm going to ask around, what's there? And then you roll some dice. Wrought iron cages, barely large enough for a human to crouch in, hang from the ceiling. Skeletons lie within most of the cages, etc., right? There's minor dressing. 15. 6 plain pewter cups stand atop a 2-gallon barrel, half filled with harsh-tasting brandy. General shrine decorations. There's a D12. Here we go. 11. A huge unholy symbol carved in bas relief dominates one wall. The symbol is at least 10 feet high, and so on and so forth. And there's tens of thousands of these entries in here, and it goes on and on and on. So I just wanted to introduce the Dread Thingonomicon. Also, as a side note, we do have GM's Miscellany Dungeon Dressing. Again, this is gathered together probably from years of blog posts and organized. This one is a little more. This book. Let me put this down here. This book, like I said before, 5e compatible. It's fine, and it is a collection of dungeon dressing. So it is far more specific to the idea of dungeon delving. But in it, it goes into a lot of detail about things you would find in your classic dungeon delving. So, and it, are you going to make a splat book like this for Obsidian? Yes. Yes, I'm making, there are tables of 36 entries. So it's like D6 across and D6 up and down. So you have 36 different entries that you can combine together. And I'm still working on my my marbleized book and just putting them together for all the different places like Mars and Jupiter and different moons and things like that. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. For example here in our table of contents, we have things like bridges, archways, doors, chests, dungeon entrances, dungeon names, ceilings. It's like stairs. Like, okay, let's pick something. Let's go to stairs. Page 190, right? This book is almost 300 pages, 275 pages. So we're going to go to page 190, and we're just going to go to stairs. That's all. You figure, it can't be that much information about friggin' stairs, right? Nah, we're going to get here. Under stairs, we have a percentage table for major stair features. Okay, like that, but we're not going to stop there. We're also going to get into different types of staircases, like constructed stairs, spiral staircases, natural stairs. We have minor stair features, whole percentile table as well, along with details about transversing the stairs if there's some kind of difficulties or traps. We have stair tricks and traps, such as the sliding stair trap. We also have the collapsing stairs and its effects, the illusionary boulder stair trap, as well as so many other things. So yeah, let's percentile dice for stairs. Let's roll some dice. I rolled an 81. The stairs ceiling is studded with many irregular holes and small outcrops of hanging rock. Lights in the stairway cast areas of deep shadow onto the steps. Okay, let's roll another major feature of the stairs. 58. Several tiny ventilation shafts pierce the ceiling. That could be a little scary too, right? Because like, is there someone looking down? Is it possible to, to spill acid or burning oil or arrows or poison darts or something? Roll again. 30. The carved mark of the master mason responsible for building the stairs decorates every third step. Kind of cool. And then, okay, there's also a little superscript on that, and then under the superscript it says DC 20 Wisdom Perception check to notice. So this is where your 5th edition comes in, because in an OSR it wouldn't be that. You would probably roll a D20 equal to or below your wisdom score for the older games, things like that didn't have skill checks. But also constructed stairs, spiral staircase, natural stairs. Let's get some minor features in here. 97. A crude symbol of a sundered crown dripping blood decorates one step. Something else. 36. Moss-like fungus grows on several steps. And lastly, let's get some more. 25. You don't have to add any of these together, but a torn and empty backpack has been upended over a torch sconce. Right? So, and the thing is that, like, just an upended backpack has been upended over a torch sconce. Maybe, because this is just what's going on in my head, you take the backpack off the sconce, maybe the torch lights up, casting light. That light draws the attention of something, and then, you know what I mean? Like a story comes out of that. Or, yeah, an old school demon is smashing up the stairs several landings above you from Tales of the Infinite Staircase. Yeah, exactly. And that's just me picking something random like stairs, right? And then, of course, there's different different traps like the sliding staircase. Listen, the sliding staircase trap is a common one, right? You go up the stairs, and when you get towards the top, they all shift and turn flat, and you slide back down the staircase into like a pit trap or something like that. As a matter of fact, there's an image here of like a mouth appearing on the walls of like a spiral staircase, and the adventurers are like stunned by it or something. There's another image here of somebody who looks like they are trying to jump across an angled thing here with spikes underneath them. That's horrible. Of course, there's a collapsing stairs, and that could be natural because, how many ancient places do players go into, ancient crypts and whatnot. And of course, there's never any OSHA violations, occupational safety and health. It's just like, why are there never any handrails? But pretty fun. But anyway, I mean, hell, what's this? Oh, I got to a look at this artwork. That's a lot of detail. I love it. Okay, anyway, I randomly turned to doors. You would think doors are pretty boring, but in this book, Dungeon Miscellany, GM's Miscellany Dungeon Dressing by Ragin Swan, we have doors. We have major features percentile. We have door construction and various types of doors, from adamantine, bead curtains, bone doors, iron, leather, mithril, paper, stone, wooden. I mean, pretty cool. Door conditions, minor door features, double doors and major double door features, decorations, decoration style, decoration types, minor double door features, percentile tables here, and door tricks and traps, mundane defenses, magical defenses, door, the door of slumber, the exploding door, the illusionary door, the poisoned bees, magnetic doors, slamming doors, weakened ceiling, basically when you try to open up the door, dungeon entrances, so on and so forth. I mean, crazy amount of detail to bring life to your dungeon crawling. Yeah, a party of safety inspectors in the ancient world. Would that be a good adventure seed? Maybe. Yeah, we're not here to steal. There's a picture of a door. We're not here to steal anything. We're just here to make sure to inspect the place, to make sure the ancient crypt is up to code. You're like, no, no, no. Sorry, evil spirits. You just keep doing what you're doing. Let's see, doors. Let's roll some percentile dice. 33. The image of a demonic or devilish face covers the door's surface, carved in high relief. The face is screaming. A tiny peephole pierces one of its eyes. All right, yeah. Funny, funny, funny. Minor. Let's roll a minor of detail. 84. 100 different entries. Damn. An arcane lock protects the door. Arcane lock is a spell. Let's roll another one. It doesn't seem to be minor to me. 16. Thorns and spikes, appearing as if they have grown from the door, festoon its surface. Let's go some others. Double doors. Major feature. 64. The doors are 30 feet high and incredibly heavy. And there's a superscript of 3. Increase the DC of the strength check required to open the doors by 5. Okay, alright. Decoration style. Let's see. 17. Mosaic. Let's go to another decoration style as well. 18. Obviously repaired. Roll again to determine style. Okay. 13. Studded with inexpensive gemstones. Decoration type. Heraldic device. Number 2. This symbol likely depicts the personal or family sigil of the dungeon's lord. Let's roll again. Map of surrounding area. This map could reveal or act as an adventure hook. Perhaps it depicts the site of the character's next adventure. Okay. Okay. All right. You need a cleric to heal the ancient accident victims, a mage yet to secure the danger zone, fighters to guard the mage, and a thief to test the security measures in place and make sure they work. Yeah. Oh, hilarious. You basically see the orc at the front door of the dungeon like, oh, thank goodness you're here. You're like, oh, so what's the issue? Well, see, here's what's been going on. Yeah, minor door issues. Oh man. So guys, thank you so much for letting me show off this book, GM's Miscellany Dungeon Dressing. 275 plus pages of inspiration and information for your dungeon delving usage. And then we have the Dread Thingonomicon, nearly 475 plus pages of goodness that are in these books. And again, like I said, unlike what some people think of when it comes to randomizers and randomization, these books are, you don't need to use it. It's for inspiration and maybe thinking outside the box. Maybe it gives you it shows you something that you hadn't thought of before, and you really didn't think like, oh man, yeah, a floating obelisk in the middle of town. I have bandits on the road going after the player characters. How are they dressed? What's in their pockets? I mean, there's tons of these tables. There's crypts and catacombs. I mean, and we could just flip through this over and over. There's even maps in here that are just general maps that you could use for your own. I mean, cultist lair. Of course, you're going to have a cultist lair. Vile things in a cultist lair. Things in a cultist altar. Small items found on the altar. Magical effects of an altar. Things to find in a cultist lair. Unholy books. Cultists with personality. We've got some NPCs. Things to loot from a cultist. I mean, of course you want those things. And did you have that stuff prepared? Maybe not. Maybe you need to do it on the fly. Maybe in your prep, you have competing cults and you don't want them to be duplicates of each other with black robes with red piping or something like that, you're like, okay, let's make this a little bit different. And of course, with mixing and matching and rolling multiple times on these charts, you can come up with some great things. We got curio shop, pawnbroker, and lots of information. I mean, here under curio shop and pawnbrokers, I mean, we've got going shopping, things like what do they find, customers, odds and ends table. We have a junk and dross table, a weapons table, baubles and curios table, and complications and opportunities table. Dark caverns, and a lot of it. Caverns, encounters, cavern dressing, cavern features, cavern hazards, legendary caves, things in a subterranean river, things to find in a purple worm. It's pretty hilarious. Things to find in a purple worm. Apparently, yeah. Shai says, instead of you meet in a tavern, you're a boring inspector team assembled by some municipal bureaucratic institution, and they make you go in the sewers. Yep. That's pretty funny. Yeah, even they've got dragon lairs in here, a bunch of dragons and things like that. Yeah. Jungle. And mind you, each of these begins with something like the fecund jungle. Fecund? Fecund? I'm putting the improper emphasis on the incorrect syllable, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, camping, local landmarks, wilderness dressing, minor nighttime events, minor daytime events, uneventful travel. And then we go on the borderlands, and the same thing. Multiple tables just throughout these books. So thank you very much for being part of the show. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much for letting me introduce these books to you. And go down below, of course, we do have the information about links to Ragin Swan Press and what they do. They make these for 5th edition, Pathfinder, and system neutral. To be honest with you, it really doesn't matter that much. Especially if you're doing prep, it really doesn't matter which one you buy. This particular Dread Thingonomicon is system neutral, but it's super easy. If you need to put in some mechanical effects, you don't really need it at all, right? Yeah, cocoon is such a strange word. Nobody says it in real life. I know. I'm just like, what? He says, are you bored because nobody's here because it's a holiday in Germany? Don't know. I am unfamiliar with holidays and festivals outside the States, so maybe it could be. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's all right. People have their own lives and stuff. So, guys, thank you very much for allowing me to show these off. Again, have a great day. I'm going to get out of here. I'm not going to hold anyone, including yourselves, too long. Thank you very much for spending your valuable time here. I appreciate it. I hope in return I can make change for your tabletop gaming and life experiences. And of course, you want to send us out. Peace and tranquility. Bye.